Now to our next big focus on the show, the storm over the cash haul at the house of Justice Yashwant Varma. The probe committee today landed at the judge's house in Delhi to begin its investigation in the cash stash that was incidentally discovered after a fire at the judge's house. This even as the parliament has also taken a serious note of this issue. The vice president in the day called a meeting of the floor leaders of all the political parties to discuss the matter. The case has raised some serious questions on accountability of the judges and the alleged corruption in judiciary, as also the process of appointment of judges. To discuss all the critical issues raised by this incident, we are now being joined by eminent lawyer and parliamentarian and one of India's top legal minds, Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Mr. Singhvi, really appreciate your time, and I'm going to begin with the question which would be on everybody's mind, even as they watch you on NDTV right now. Why did you not participate in any debate or share your views in the initial few days?
Well, that was really something, in a sense, ad hoc. I felt a little hesitant for the first few days. And I felt that, before things settle down, one should not be really seen as rubbing your hands in glee at somebody's discomfiture. A lot of facts had to come out. I did have the privilege of several invitations from your colleagues, but I just kept away and hoped that things would come out more, which will allow me to speak. And I think sense of time to be more objective than to just wade into something to speak for the sake of speaking.
Mr. Singhvi, the role of the Chief Justice of India and this entire issue of transfer of Justice Varma to his parent court of Allahabad. The Allahabad bar is protesting against it. The question is that they have gone ahead and boycotted it as well. But the role of various institutions are also being questioned here. How do you view it?
Well, you have two parts of the question. And first, let me say unhesitatingly and unequivocally that the role of the Chief Justice of India, CJI Sanjeev Khanna, has been extraordinary. Quick, prompt, comprehensive, unhesitating, and transparent. In fact, transparent in an unprecedented sense. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. He set up the inquiry quickly. It's proceeding. And he asked the judge not to be allotted work. I think these are all very good. And above all, he shared part of the data, indeed part of the evidence itself, including the video. I think had he not done that, imagine the repercussions of the reverse. People would have pointed fingers. There would have been allegations of suppression, an incestuous cover-up, etc., etc. So I think he has done well. As far as your transfer issue is concerned, of course, Allahabad High Court's angst is understandable. I think they have a right to feel that. But I personally believe that currently, for the time being, I'm saying, the transfer issue is relatively inconsequential. And I'll tell you why I use the word inconsequential. A judge like Justice Varma, with this kind of thing swirling around him, at least for a few weeks and months, cannot possibly have any need, desire, or stature to want to sit on a bench and function as a judge, be that in Delhi or be that in Allahabad. So it doesn't matter. He is not going to be doing judging until this cloud goes over. And therefore, the transfer issue is temporarily inconsequential. It will become relevant later on. For example, if he is exonerated or comes clean, then, he would have to resume work, whether here or there. But I think it's overstated at the moment. Today, the need of the hour is to get a quick, prompt, comprehensive inquiry report and then action on that and sharing of the details of that report.
And in light of these allegations against Justice Varma, do you believe that the in-house probe by the Supreme Court is a robust enough mechanism to investigate charges of corruption, or does it really underscore the need for an independent judicial oversight body?
No, this is the independent judicial oversight body. Ultimately, depending on that, you can go down the impeachment route, you can go down the resignation route, and you can go down the criminal complaint, FIR, etc. route. But at a first level, this is the right thing to do. Remember, you have to protect judges against regular, frivolous, false, vexatious complaints because they do judging, and judging always means that every day hundreds of people have 50% going back dissatisfied. Therefore, that insulation that you cannot straight away throw a judge against whom allegations are made to the wolves is a necessary insulation for independence of judiciary, which is a much higher virtue which we cherish. Having said that, it is equally important that disturbing questions are addressed by this committee.
Yes.
Everybody understands those disturbing questions. Everybody knows them. I mean, I can itemize them very quickly.
Please
Where
go
is
ahead.
this 50 crores cash, 15 crores cash, 500 crores cash? You cannot say that you found half burnt or full burnt bundles, few bundles to be counted as 50. Who did the inventorization? Where is the Panchnama? When you came to the door, there are only two possibilities. It was either locked or it was open for all. If it was locked, any intrusion, even in your house, much less a judge's house, if I break the lock, I need punch witnesses, I need videography, I need people standing there as witnesses. If it was not locked, then it's a whole different ballgame. Then there's a lot of credence to what Justice Varma is saying. So these are questions, and most importantly, where is the inventorization and the panchnamas for this whole thing? I mean, what I find most disturbing are the contradictory reports, of the Delhi fire system, and more than that, the lack of, the opacity and the lack of transparency in terms of what the police has done at that time for at least one night or 1.5 days. So these are all questions which require an answer, and that alone will restore the confidence. And that alone, by the way, will restore the honor of Justice Varma if he is in any manner innocent. It would be very wrong to condemn and convict a person like this if this inquiry did not do a good job.
Mr. Singhvi, you're also a member of Parliament, and the Parliament is up in arms. There was an all-party meeting as well. Several MPs have demanded that Justice Varma be sacked. There is this growing chorus for NJAC as well. How do you think the legislature's role will ensure, and also I would say, how do you think the executive's role in the NJAC should be balanced with the judiciary's need for independence? And what are the implications of the Supreme Court's striking down of the NJAC Act for the future of judicial appointments?
So, Maria, this is a larger and important question. Let me break it up and answer this piece by piece. You see, as far as Parliament is concerned, it has no immediate role except that it has a right to discuss. It can discuss, say things which are protected speech inside Parliament, but the role at the moment is only of the committee. Later on, there would be a role for impeachment, which, as you know, requires 50 in my house and 100 in the other house, and then a appointment of a actual parliamentary appointed committee, which will then give a report on which there will be a debate, and then the judge will or will not be impeached. But that role is far later. Today, it is only a role of discussion, and they cannot be stopped from discussing it because they're not discussing the role of a judge in his judgment or delivery of judgment or handling of judgment. That is prohibited by a constitutional article. Just like judges cannot discuss the in-house proceedings of Parliament. So there is a reciprocal bar. But this doesn't fall in that category. Now, having said that, NJAC is a very important question you've raised. I would caution very much against knee-jerk reactions. So what I mean by knee-jerk reaction is you press a button today, convert the collegium into NJAC, and all will be hunky-dory. You'll start having spotless, clean judges and a perfect, functioning, incorruptible, and non-corrupt judiciary. That is nothing but Mungeri Lal ke sapne. It is completely misplaced thinking. What you need to address is only one thing: the source of appointment. At that point, you have to choose wisely whether you are the collegium or the NJAC. And you have to choose wisely the person appointed. There is absolutely no guarantee that the NJAC will choose more wisely than this because, don't forget, there will be increased government interference, though it will still be predominantly a judicial body. So I think here is an area where we must hasten slowly. But it is entirely permissible and possible under the present system of the collegium to be much more cautious and to choose wisely. I mean, there is no doubt, I have no hesitation in saying that the collegium system has largely failed over the years. It was brought in precisely for the malaise which it is now suffering from.
My last question to you, sir.
But you cannot simply say that you press the button and change it into a system and it will work. Systems don't, who are in the system can make them work alone.
Sir, in an era of increasing transparency and accountability, how do you think the judiciary can maintain public trust? Because, that certainly has been dented after this cash haul at Justice Varma's residence. There's also that need to protect the privacy and dignity of judges.
Well, I cannot disagree with you at all. Having spent a lifetime in the profession, I have to also confess that what we used to see when we started in the profession, hear occasionally in hushed whispers about an occasional district judge here or there who might be errant. And then as the years went by, it gravitated upwards to the High Court and then onwards. There is no doubt that the trajectory of integrity has been downwards, and the trajectory of accusations, innuendos, insinuations has been huge in the last several decades. It is no doubt to me that that has to be changed. The trust deficit and the feeling, the perception that you can manage, inverted commas and unquote, manage things has to diminish. Nobody is saying it can be eliminated. Nobody is a perfect society. Nobody is saying that it can be completely extinguished. But we have to accept that. We have to make it clear that when we have the slightest whiff, there is a transparent inquiry and an exposure to the public so that there is a deterrence for others. And then simultaneously work on systems, be it a combination of collegium and NJs, be it some kind of a safeguard checks and balances, but above all, should be select the right person. Let me tell you, today if I was to blindfold you and 10 others like you who are not lawyers, not judges, and send you to 10 high courts in India to say, look, in 1 month, Maria, please find out the 5 best people in each high court eligible or suitable for elevation to the bench. I can guarantee that in 1 month, as a complete novice and a layman, you'd be able to do it. What we do in this country, unfortunately, is that after we identify those 10 for appointment, we start looking at reasons for disappointment. We don't appoint them, we delay them, we hang them, we attack them. And normally those choices are pretty good. 2 out of them may not be, but 8 will be good. And then you end up appointing 2 out of those 8 and maybe appointing the second or third line of the balance. We have to stop that.